Welcome to day 19 of our epic angel journey. I hope you are still enjoying this journey, friends. I know many of you have started from day one and you followed all the way along, which is just wonderful. And some of you are just finding these videos in this series, so welcome. You are very much in good company here. Even if you are a beginner on your angel path or experienced, I'm sure there is lots to learn, discover, or better said, just remember, because all of these teachings, everything that the angels are sharing in each of the video is nothing really new. It's just we need to stir it. We just need to rekindle that knowing and that awareness, because the angels always remind us that everything that we ever need is within us. So may this video today rekindle your love for yourself, love for all, because we're connecting with the angel of love herself, Archeia Charity, who is the divine feminine counterpart to Archangel Chamuel. I was reminded yet again to share something perhaps I've shared in previous videos, just the difference between the Archeia, the divine feminine angels, and the archangels, the masculine expression of an angel that has been portrayed in literature and art and books for millennia. But the Archeia, who's always been there, hasn't really been represented until these teachings started to be shared through angel healing, through the books and the cards. The difference, one of the main differences, the Archeia will come in, and sometimes it feels like it's very, very subtle, but if we bring the awareness, we can understand, they're there, they're helping me with this, they're helping me to remember that, or to give love here, or to follow this course of action. And the second I woke up this morning, after having dreams about past relationships, and I started to go into the mental stories, like, why am I dreaming that? And then it dawned on me, of course, Archeia Charity, like all the Archeia, come in and they stay with us until we have learned what we need to learn, or discovered, or healed, or empowered that particular thing, that particular part of ourselves. This is how they differ. They bring forward more inner inquiry, inner experiences, inner alchemy, as opposed to the archangels that we can invite in to help us in the moment, to bring about something normally a bit more physical, a bit more energetic in the moment support. Whereas the Archeia, the divine feminine, our big sisters, will stay with us. They're quite subtle. They permeate our consciousness in such a beautiful way. And so if you have the card deck and you knew it was going to be Archeia Charity today for day 19, perhaps just feel into the dreams that you had last night as she began to come into your consciousness. Because often she can incite these dreams of what we're holding in our heart that is preventing us from fully opening to greater love with ourselves and with others. She'll show you the old relationships, the past ghosts that you're carrying, the hang-ups, anything that's getting in the way of you saying yes to greater love, whether in relationships or with your beloved, or whether your beloved is yourself, because the greatest soulmate we will ever have, friends, is ourself, isn't it? The greatest love story of all is the love story that we have with ourselves. And so let's just take a moment to consciously invite in Charity and just say yes. She's probably with you already after what I've just shared, but let's just come into reverence, as always, with the angels by detaching from that which we've just been focusing on, and just begin to bring all of your being here, pulling in your focus, your love, your breath as we take a nice inhale. And a full exhale, releasing anything that does not serve in this moment, giving it up. And consciously inviting forward Archeia, Charity, twin of Chamuel, may you be with us now, sister, sharing your love, sharing the colors of your rays, the pink, the red, and the ruby. May you bless us with your teachings and your virtues of divine love and devotion, and inspire us with ways that we can prioritize greater self-care, self-love, and love for others. And so it is. Thank you. Breathing in, feeling that beautiful infusion of the pink and the red and the ruby coming in. Just really here, friends. And I'm wearing this big, bright, bold lippy because this is her colors, this beautiful pink. And I don't know if you can see in her imagery, when I was channeling the imagery and then Mary Jo, the artist, brought everything to life, we laughed because Charity gave us this impression of having big boobs. You know, she says love is curvaceous, it's bold, it's delicious, and she really wanted that to be represented. So she comes forward more curvaceous. Maybe we'll see more in the book, her imagery. She's kind of got a vibe of Uma Thurman going on. She wears this ruby that connects her to Chamuel, and there's almost this pyramid behind her. And this pyramid is here because when I was channeling the imagery, I saw her step out of a very real temple, a physical temple it was. The etheric form of this temple is still there, and you can visit and you can work with the alchemy of this temple. And it's called the Temple of Divine Love, and it was physically present in Atlantis, in Golden Atlantis. And if you have any lifetimes or that's just touching your soul, you're like, yes, Atlantis, I was there, then maybe you have connected with Charity before. And many of her initiates in the Temple of Love included a lot of the Ascended Masters, like Lady Nada, Paul the Venetian, the Elohim of Love. And maybe you were a priest, priestess, or priesty, that which is neither gender, just unified, beautiful priesty consciousness. Maybe you connected with Charity before. But she really does help to herald love and expand love over all dimensions, beyond time and space, beyond all realities. And I'm sure you can feel that from her vibe. When Mary Jo was bringing her to life instead of a pyramid, she's here almost. The pyramid has changed almost into a spotlight, because the very act of loving ourselves is illuminating ourselves. Self-care, self-love is saying yes to receiving that light and being in the basking in that beautiful radiance as Charity is. And she's got the pink rays coming out of her hands. She's got gorgeous geometry above her head that you can focus and work with in meditation. It's specifically for opening up your heart and opening up your mind to loving yourself more. And she's a fantastic angel to work with for strengthening existing relationships that you have, especially with the more focus of romantic relationships. So the relationship that you have with your beloved. In fact, Charity's name is derived from the Old English word that means beloved, to be dear to ourselves, to see ourselves in the light, in the perspective that God sees us, that the divine sees us. So we can invite her in for strengthening romantic relationships, for tolerance, for reclaiming love. Perhaps if I'm sure you've all went through breakups, you've all went through heartbreak. Gosh, I don't think any of us are immune to that. And this is the angel to work with to help us to reclaim love and start also to build our self-esteem after relationships, if there was rejection in there, abandonment, toxicity, narcissism, like all of these wonderful things that can knock our confidence and self-esteem. She's also the angel that inspires us to be a lot more tolerant with ourselves and those around us. She also helps to develop our heart and higher heart chakras, as well as our causal chakra. I can feel it just here, just above our head and around our head. And this chakra, this energy center, when we open and work with the causal chakra, we can access all our many different lifetimes. And often, the limitations that we put upon ourselves that are opposing love represent the scar tissue of old relationships, of painful past relationships that we're still carrying. And when we invite in and say yes to Partner in Charity, she can help us to soften that scar tissue, to soften into love, so that we are more available to changing, to letting go of the past, letting go of how the past is still defining our choices in the moment, is still influencing our life. A wonderful angel to work with, friends. Beautiful big sister. And I found myself this morning, I had dreams about, I'll tell you, because we're friends and I love sharing. Um, and hopefully this will resonate. So I had a dream about, really opening my heart to you, friends. I had a dream about a guy I went to school with, and we never think, when I look at my kids now, I think, how could they be in love at that age? But I was 12 years old. It was my first relationship, and I really was in love. I felt so in love with this beautiful soul. I won't name him. Um, but if he is watching, I'm sure he knows who he is. Um, but I was so in love with him. I would do anything for him. And we really did see our lives together. It was such a young, innocent love. And what happened in that relationship, how it came to an end, was through self-destruction, through destroying that relationship. We had lost a lot of money in our family, and not to go into the in and outs of it, but we had to move from our beautiful home that we had into a council house. And my mum was a single mom, and we had literally had no money. And I was so ashamed at having to move, because my boyfriend came from such a lovely family, such a lovely house. And in my naive mind, I thought, he won't love me if he sees where I'm living now. And I I thought the only thing I can do is break up. But he was so lovely. So I did the most horrible things to break that relationship up. And it's one of, I don't have any regrets, but that one does pull at my heart a little bit, because I let fear in. I let that sense of just feeling into, he was going to judge me, he was going to reject me, he would be the one to end the relationship first, so I better do it first, and do really silly things to break it down. And it was such a shame, and it's always stayed with my heart. And sometimes I will have dreams about him. He'll come into my dream time, and we'll have a lovely dream together, and I'll wake up in the morning feeling so good, and it's like medicine, and it keeps me going for a couple of weeks. It's amazing. We're definitely soulmates in that way. But when we start to work with the angels, why I'm sharing this, friends, is because the angels help us to see beyond the face, beyond the form. They help us to see, okay, what was that first relationship giving me? And when I focused on that relationship, it gave me a sense of fun. It was so free, it was so innocent, it was filled with fun. And in subsequent relationships, that has really been the element that has been missed, and that my heart has always yearned for, just that silliness, just that mischief, just that fun. And so if you think about your first relationship that you ever had, friends, go beyond the person, go beyond the form. What did that first relationship, that first love story in your life with another person, what did it give you? If you just feel into that now. And do let me know in the comments if you could encapsulate it in a few words or one word. What did it give you? And if that relationship came to an abrupt end, do you feel that particular vibe, that particular energy that you loved in that relationship, do you feel it's been missing in your subsequent relationships? And I've seen this happen so many times with different clients and friends. We can resolve that. We can bring it back with awareness, with working with the angel of the heart, with accepting what is, accepting that we can't change the past, but we can change how we respond. And we can choose not to let what happened in the past, those fears, those judgments, those illusionary thoughts and beliefs, still influence our present moment and our present reality and our relationships going forward. So hopefully that story has highlighted, perhaps for you, a little nugget of where you need to resolve if you still feel like you're missing that one true love that you had, or that first, let's say the first love that you had, what you have been missing. I'm just asking what else she would like me to share. Her crystal associations, let's go to that now. And also just before that, in the book, friends, there is so much. I love this chapter the most. I think all of the chapters in this book, because the angels were really writing them through me, there's dotted as little stories like that, but it's so practical rich. It's filled with techniques and meditations and visualizations, and Charity's chapter is awesome because there's tools to help you to listen to love more, like that story, like really going into yourself. There's a loving yourself ritual, which is beautiful to do and works with the causal chakra. We go into self-care, and she shares the self-care manifesto, which is 23 different ways that we can bring about self-care, and it does not involve luxurious bubble baths and massages. It's more, while that's wonderful, it's super real. It's really down to earth, practical ways that you can love yourself more. So do check that out, friends. But let's look at her crystal associations. The first one is pink andara. Pink andara. Sometimes people say that this is just glass. And while it does look very gemmy and glass-like, I believe it's more than just glass. And you can feel it. If you've ever had an andara and then just get a regular piece of glass, you can feel the vibration. This one especially opens up the higher heart chakra that connects to our thymus gland, keeps this area nice and healthy. This is our center of unconditional love. So we really want that to be nice and open. The next one is ruby. Ruby, which we've talked about before in other videos. And the last one, something that I'm wearing, is rose quartz, stone of the heart. Now, a little bit, I used to teach Atlantean crystal healing. That was another modality that was founded alongside unicorn healing and angel healing. And we retired that course a couple of years ago, but I know some of you want a crystal series. So we might start to share some of the nuggets from that course. One of the nuggets includes this. So in Atlantis, the type of crystal that we began to work with, initially anyway, was a high vibrational form of clear quartz. Everything was clear. And if we wanted another color, another frequency, we brought that in through our will. And when golden Atlantis began to transition into, well, when it broke down in many ways, and before the rise of golden Egypt and all the many different eras of Egypt, a lot of the gem rays, a lot of the source rays began to infuse into the crystals so that we could have a physical connection to these rays of the divine, these rays of source that we've been talking about in all of these different videos. So this rose quartz is the physical manifestation of the pink ray. So you can imagine wearing rose quartz, holding rose quartz, having it in your environment is going to open up your heart. It's going to start that process of helping to soften any barriers and blocks that you have put up or felt have been impressed upon you that are stopping you from fully loving. It's a wonderful crystal to have. And also to bring into your skincare, your self-care routine. I'm a big advocate of gua sha, using a gua sha tool morning and night. And the other day, somebody said, I look in my 20s, and I love that. I'm actually in my 40s. But I attribute this not only to working with the pink ray in manifested form, but also the angels, and also not taking myself too seriously. But anyway, the gua sha, this rose quartz gua sha, you can ask the spirit of the rose quartz and Archeia Charity and any other angels and guides that you feel are connected to beauty and radiance and self-care. You can kindly ask them to come forward and imbue their light into the crystal, so that when you are using the tool, you are bringing in the pink ray into your skin. You're bringing that divine ray into you. It's incredible. And if you want to know more about that, I have a workshop. It was live a couple of years ago, but the replay is on my website. And it's the workshop that has been always the most popular, and the one that people write about a lot and share their experiences. And it's called Reverse Aging. And don't let the title fool you. That's not clickbait or anything. It is reverse aging. You can reverse your age. I'm a big believer in that. I mean, look at my skin. I feel a lot younger as well. That's a lot to do with it. But this particular workshop guides you to the Fountain of Youth, which is a real place, friends, very much connected to the heart of Atlantis. Um, and we work with charity within that particular workshop. It's good to do on a monthly basis just to top up. And it helps us to not only go back and turn back the clock physically, but also through our energy. It increases more life force, more prana in our body. But what I want to say, even though all of that is wonderful, charity and the other angels we'll talk with Chamuel tomorrow are all about not focusing too much on this container and thinking that that is you, that's the totality of you. You know, there's a lot of wisdom in aging. There's a lot of wisdom of just sharing yourself, like how you look, wrinkles, cellulite, and all. It doesn't really matter. Remember, charity is all about love is curvaceous, love is bold, love is just bloody imperfections, because that's perfect. So don't get too hung up on the form. I see so many people getting too hung up on what they look like and putting Botox and stuff in their skin. And I'm not saying that I'm not, anyone can do whatever they want, but find your own radiance, find your own light, connect with that. Use these tools, but still know that you're so much more than your container. You are love in being. So let that love shine out. And in fact, a big message of charity is that living this life, just living life, truly is living love, because we are love incarnate. That is our very being. And she can help us just to anything that feels in the way of that, anything that feels in opposition in our beliefs, like we are not love. She can help us just to soften and dissolve. So I leave you with that and her love, friends. There's more in the Oracle deck. If you do have it, I really invite you to enjoy infusing love into your timeline, where she takes you back to your very first breath in this body, so that you can experience and infuse love into all of your timeline. It's really powerful. But let's leave here with her affirmation. And she guides us to have our arms open wide and to say aloud 3 times with conviction: I am loved, lovable, worthy, and wonderful. I am loved, lovable, worthy, and wonderful. I am loved, lovable, worthy, and wonderful. And so it is. Really feeling that, friends. And if anything is in opposition, if your subconscious mind is like, I reject that, I don't feel that, start by saying something that feels true for you, so that you are moving forward to loving yourself more, to accepting yourself more. And remember, there's angels by your side. Invite in Archeia Charity to support. And I will share a link to reverse aging down below if you would like to check out that workshop replay, and we'll see you in the next video. So much love.